My name is Josh Blake, and I'm currently a junior at North Carolina State studying crop production. I decided to do my project on blackshank and tobacco as I feel that it is a damaging disease to the tobacco industry in North Carolina, and I'd like to bring some awareness to that. A little bit of history about blackshank is that it was first discovered in the United States in 1915 and later found in Forsyth County, North Carolina in 1931. Um, Since then, it has spread to every flue-cured tobacco producing county in North Carolina and is estimated to contribute to an annual loss of 2% of flue-cured crops across the state. So this shows that it's already a pretty big challenge to farmers. And the reason why is blackshank is actually caused by a fungus, Phytophthora nicotiana, and this fungus is a warm weather fungus that thrives in soils with high moisture content, which is where a lot of tobacco crops are grown in North Carolina are in clay-rich soils that retain moisture because that's a favorable soil trait for tobacco. Tobacco loves moisture. So, anyways, this Phytophthora nicotiana, the fungus, in favorable wet conditions, wet and warm conditions, it can reproduce motile spores, a new generation of spores, every 72 hours, which gives it a rapid infection or a rapid reproduction rate, and also it can lead to rapid infection and disease rates across the field. And what makes it even bigger of a problem is in dry years or over winter, the fungus can actually produce hardened spores that can last several years in the soil in unfavorable climates. So even with crop rotation and fungicides, it's almost impossible to rid the infected soil of the fungus once it becomes infected. That's why it's important to be aware of the cause or the problems that arise from blackshank, and prevention is the number one key to fighting blackshank. Blackshank spread by either taking infected soil and putting it on a non-infected area, like for say a farmer that's plowing his tobacco and doesn't clean his plow off before he goes to the next field that's not infected, then he can very easily infect that field. Or irrigation, water runoff from irrigation can run off downstream and eventually infect a piece of land downstream that wasn't infected before, or rainfall runoff. But groundwater is also another way that the fungus can be spread. Anyways, for my picture, I painted a picture based off a picture I found online that I felt represented the symptoms of blackshank pretty well. In the background, you can see I have a healthy stand of tobacco plants, and these front three plants here, you can see I have two relatively healthy tobacco plants on either side of a blackshank infected plant that is dying. I did this by starting off painting the background of the canvas light brown and white, and then started with the background plants here and just pretty much took green paint and made downward brush strokes on the stalks to give it kind of just a, they're not detailed, but it's just to fill in the space. And I threw some white in there to make the leaves look glossy like on a dewy morning. And then on the front stalks, I started with the top leaves of the stalk and worked my way down. Once the top leaves dried, I went back and overlapped them to give it a more realistic appearance. And for the center stalk here, this is where I was trying to demonstrate the symptoms of blackshank. First off, you can see you have the base of the stalk that is blackened, and there's already been 3 or 4 leaves here that have died and fell off. This leaf is completely dead. This one's suffering of chlorosis, and you can also see these brown lesions. That's kind of typical of blackshank in very wet environments where it's been raining a lot. You can get the fungus can actually splash up out of the soil and infect the leaf as well, even though it's mostly a root. Most of the time, Phytophthora nicotiana infects the root and creates a disease. But once this plant becomes infected, there's no saving it. It will die. Anyway, so that just shows the basic symptoms of infected tobacco stalk with blackshank. And if the conditions were to continue as they are, then this whole field would probably become infected unless the weather dried up or cooled off. But anyways, that's my picture. I hope this can somehow bring awareness to blackshank, and maybe people will see this and start to think about ways they can prevent and treat the disease. Thanks.